Hey guys, James with Torches and Tactical, and today we're looking at a UV light, a new UV light from Sofirn. Now this is the SF16, and this is up to a maximum of 870 milliwatts of power of UV in the 365 nanometer wavelength, and that's going to help with a lot of your UV reactive items such as identifying legal currency, checking pet stains, inspecting hotel rooms, any kind of other potentially, what's a nice word to say, potentially disgusting atmospheres you may be in, and amongst a ton of other things like insects and stuff like that. So guys, I'm going to tell you right now that the SF16 is probably one of the best feeling lights in the hand I've felt in honestly quite some time. That goes for any of the expensive brands. That goes for other more cost-effective brands like the Workhorse lights or anything. This is probably one of the best feeling lights in hand. Now I will tell you right out of the gate, this does have that black filter, so it makes it a little easier to use, as in it filters out some of that visible light and really just shines on what you're focusing that UV onto. So I do want to run through just everything that comes in the package here real fast, and that is going to be a couple of spare O-rings as well as a generic lanyard. So let's get that out of the way. Then you also have USB-A to USB-C because this is USB-C rechargeable. You have your box, of course. Now you don't really see a lot of specifications on this one, and that's because, well, they're in here in the user manual. So in the user manual, it will tell you that it has a high mode of 875 milliwatts, a medium of 440 watts, and a low of 126 milliwatts. Now, did I say 440 watts? I meant 440 milliwatts. And in addition to that, it does give you all your other specifications, like the fact that this is IPX8 down to 1 meter, and it also comes in at 122.7 by 25 millimeters. So very, very cool. And I'm not even kidding when I say that this is probably one of the best feeling lights I've had in hand in quite some time. It feels better than the SC31Ts from Sofirn. It feels better than pretty much everything. Now, if I could tell you right out of the gate, if they will send me one of these with like an SC31 driver, I would love to make just a standard flashlight out of this host. It really does feel that good. But I digress from that a little bit. I do want to focus on just everything that this has, not so much about how it feels, because I would probably gush over that for quite some time. But as far as the actual light is concerned, now you do have some of these crenulations up front, which gives it a very tactical approach or a tactical look, which is kind of unusual considering it is a UV flashlight. So you will see that USB-C charging port right here. I will go ahead and open it up for you. There you go. And right underneath that, you see this little white dot. Now that dot is actually a charging indicator, and that when it is plugged into the USB-C port, it will shine red. And then when you have it fully charged, it will turn to green. In addition to that, it does feature a battery status indicator, and that kind of breaks down into 25% increments. So you have 75 to 100%, and that's green. Green flashing is 50 to 75%. Then you have red, which is 25 to 50%, and then red flashing is 0 to 25%. So if you're on red, or especially red flashing, make sure you are near that charger right away. Now you do have this sticker here, and that is letting you know that it does have a UV radiation potential, so don't shine it at your eyes or do anything dumb like that. Guys, flashlights, even flashlights where you can't really see a lot of output from them with the naked eye, they can be quite dangerous. So let's go ahead and treat them with some respect. But moving on from the dangers, I guess you could say, we will keep moving down. Now you do have 270 degrees here of cooling fin, so it looks quite nice. And if you have that charging port on the backside, it flows in with the body very, very well. It steps down into the battery tube. You have your governmental signage. You have Sofirn SF16, and then this battery tube, it feels very, very smooth, but you have so much going on everywhere else that I really wouldn't worry about it being a lack of grip situation. You have that one-way pocket clip, and there is a hole here if you decide you want to run that lanyard here, but the pocket clip has a little bit of a throat, and you still have pretty much that entire tail cap sitting in your pocket if you do decide to run this inside like a front or even a rear pocket. Now that is not captive from the tail cap, but it does just come around about 270% of that inside its own recess. And then you have this tail cap, one of the cooler looking tail caps I've seen in a while. This actually seems like it might fit almost on like a lightsaber or something. It looks really, really cool. Now, if you step up from there, you will see that rear clicky switch. And again, it is a rear clicky, so you don't get any momentary with your UV light here, but you do have to engage that switch all the way. And then upon the release, that's when that light will turn on. So you do have saddles 180 degrees apart from each other. Now this one is bare. There's no holes in it. On the other side though, you do have 2 holes, which means you can run that lanyard here as well. And in a pinch, if you need to, you can still tail stand your light. Although, again, UV, I don't know, I can't myself think of a reason why you'd need to do that. So we talked about charging a little bit. Now I do want to let you know that when it does come to the charging, it does have a 3000 milliamp hour Sofirn 18650 cell in there. So there you go. And let's go ahead and look down here. You can see that spring on that driver board in here. And just looking at it, well, actually here, let's go ahead and take off the battery tube completely. So just looking at it, it does not provide the most spring resistance, but still pretty good feel. It seems like it is soldered on there quite well. I don't see any loose spots. I don't see any areas where it looks like it's going to cause issues later on. But I'll get that back on there, get that battery tube in there, or get that battery in there. And then if we focus on the tail cap, you can see that you can see that retaining ring. And the tail cap, the spring is quite a bit more stiff. So you have a spring front and rear, just in case something jounces. It will help keep contact with those battery terminals and keep those electrons flowing. Now, we are going to need to compare this to something. And I think it's only fair that 875 milliwatts, I want to go ahead and compare it to the Olight ArcFeld Pro. Now, I happen to have one of these right here, and we will go into a full review in another video for the ArcFeld Pro. However, for today, we are just going to flip the switch over and shine down at 900 milliwatts. So this is 900 milliwatts, but here, let me shut this off. And you can see that it has a very short reflector. And I'm curious, because this does have that ZWB filter, I'm curious what kind of reflector this has in it. I can tell you now that if I turn this on and I turn on the Sofirn, you can see quite a bit more. Oh, there we go. You can see quite a bit more of a hotspot. This is quite a bit more floody, and you can see the hotspot from the Sofirn SF16 here. So what I want to do is I want to take these outside and just go for a walk with you guys. We'll see if we can find any bugs, fungus on some trees. My cats will be out there, so if one of them happens to be going to the bathroom, we can take a look at that too, as odd as that sounds. So guys, let's get outside and compare the Sofirn SF16 with the Olight ArcFeld Pro, just the UV. So let's go ahead and do it.
Hey guys, we're out and about, and this is going to be a little difficult to show, so I'm going to do my best, but I have the Sofirn SF16 as well as the Olight ArcFeld Pro. Now the SF16 maxes out at 875 milliwatts, and I'm just actually going to just get straight into it. So here we go. You guys can see low. I'm gonna highlight. Well, it is the middle of winter, so there aren't too many bugs and stuff out to be able to identify, but I will show you guys some of the fungus on the trees that does fluoresce. So here we go. This is low. This is this is 126 milliwatts. Then we have 440 milliwatts. very, very tight hotspot on this ST08 UV. And then we're going to jump up. This is 875 milliwatts. So again, very hot, very defined hotspot. And then if we want to, I'm going to go ahead and shut this off, and we can compare to the Olight Arcfeld Pro. Here we go. So this is 900 milliwatts. They both run in 365 nanometers in that wavelength. You can see quite a bit more with this, but I guess a lot of it's going to come down to is the cost worth it? The Arcfeld Pro comes in 3 times or more of what the SF16 comes in at. And that is, depending on if you get the SF16 directly from Sofirn or if you go through one of their other channels like Amazon. I will include links to both down below so you guys can see. Oh, there you go. Look at how some of this stuff fluoresces. So that is 900 milliwatts with the Olight Arcfeld Pro. And again, we can show you 875 milliwatts with a much more distinct hotspot. But as I was saying, I will include the links down below to both the Sofirn channels as well as their Amazon channel. So if you guys are interested in this SF16, go ahead and click on one of those links. But now that we've seen how the SF16 compares to the Olight Arcfeld Pro, let's get back inside.
All right, guys. So we went outside and took a walk. We saw the SF16 and the Olight Arcfeld Pro. Now I'm going to get the Pro out of the way right now and focus on just the SF16. If we compare this with that Arcfeld Pro that we just had on stage, so to speak, all I can say is that this had quite a bit more of a focused beam. So even though this comes in at 25 milliwatts less than the supposed output of that Arcfeld Pro, it seemed like it had a much more distinct hotspot. And again, it seemed like it went further. One other thing you can do with the SF16 is use it for checking currency. So I'm going to go ahead and shine this here. So you see that reactive strip right here. There you go. I hope you guys can see this. So if you are trying to check that legal tender, you can go ahead and do this. And that very distinct hotspot too also helps and aids in just seeing a very particular area versus trying to just flood some of that UV out. It makes it look a lot more concentrated and gives you better performance overall. And I will tell you guys one final time, as far as the actual feel of, and even the looks of this light, I have to say that this is really, really doing it for me. Again, Sofirn, if you're watching this, go ahead and send me one of these with a different driver. I would love to get a clear lens on here, and I would love to see exactly what this can do with, I don't know, a Nichia 519 or maybe a Luminous SFT40 or something other than a UV emitter, because I think it looks really, really good. And I think it'd be awesome to carry one of these with a more traditional light output, not filter, but emitter. So guys, go ahead and check out the links down in the description and the comments below if you think that the Sofirn SF16 is something that would benefit you. If you work at a bank and want to check those bills, you can do that with this. If you want to go for those nature walks and take a look at some fungus or the insects, you can do that with this too. So guys, thank you so much. And if you could like this video, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel, that would be extremely, extremely appreciated. And if you guys haven't heard, torchesandtactical.com is fully live. So we are doing a lot of raffles and even some giveaways. So if you head over to torchesandtactical.com, you guys can see a lot of raffle lights going on where you can get some really, really nice lights for as low as $5 an entry. So guys, thank you so much again, and we'll see you in the next one.